Contender Series 2023 week number 10. This is the weigh-in recap show, full card predictions, and the betting breakdown. The season finale of the Contender Series. Can't wait to talk about each of the matchups after seeing the fighters on the scales. So make sure you guys smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Turn the post notifications on and make sure to share the video as well. And also note, I will be live for the entire Contender Series fight card, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Tuesday. Do not miss the fight companion. Really looking forward to it. And let's get into the fights. Starting it off, we have Davi Bittencourt versus Lucas Rocha. This fight was actually supposed to take place last week, and Rocha missed weight by a ton. He came in at 131 for a fight scheduled to take place at 125 pounds, and the dude is 5'2", so it's not like he's built for bantamweight and completely starving himself down to get to 125 pounds. Don't like the weight miss. I got to pick Davi Bittencourt. I feel like Bittencourt is going to find some success in the grappling positions. I think he's the physically stronger guy, and I like his pressure striking attack. With Rocha, obviously I see skills. He's 16-1. He's got a better record than Bittencourt as far as when you're looking at it just numbers-wise. And, you know, Rocha can definitely kickbox, but I do worry that he's going to get out-muscled by Bittencourt in this fight here. He is a high-volume striker who does have really nice kicks, but the same can be said about Bittencourt. He's got a bit of a capoeira background and has some pretty heavy kicks. On the feet, I think Bittencourt is the harder kicker. In the boxing, I see it as fairly competitive, but specifically in the grappling transitions, in the clinch, on the floor, I think Bittencourt will have the physical strength edge, and I do think he's going to garner some control time from top. I'm going to predict that we got a good 3-round scrap, and Bittencourt gets it done on the judges' scorecards. Now, if you look at the scales, we'll check these savages out. Let me shrink myself down here. Then we're going to scroll all the way up to see these savages face off. All right, here we go. There is Lucas Rocha. Lucas Rocha, I should say, since he's Portuguese. And then there's Davi Bittencourt with pretty top-tier afro. If you've ever seen Semi-Pro, that's up there with the Jackie Moon fro or the Coffee Black fro from the movie. Obviously, if you guys haven't seen it, you're not going to get those references. But if you have, you definitely can see what I'm talking about. It's a nice fro. Then we got the face-off. Bittencourt is pissed. Bittencourt is angry. He was supposed to fight last week. He was already supposed to have this fight take place, and Rocha missed weight. Rocha came in unprofessional. I think he pays for it here. Cutting weight back-to-back for neither of them is optimal, but I will say it is 135 pounds rather than 125 pounds, which that's a big difference maker. I'm going to say that Bittencourt can pull it off, even though, you know, back-to-back weight cuts, and he had a more strenuous weight cut last week because he did look to really get down to that accurate weight, whereas Rocha was off. He was at 131. So I am going to pick Bittencourt. Definitely a bit of a coin flip first fight. I'm going to say it's going to be a hell of a scrap. That's what I'll predict for this one. And I think the grappling positions favor Costa. Bittencourt, Davi Costa. You can find them under either name. I'll tell you guys, if you're looking to watch footage of him, look him up as Davi Costa. That's where you're going to find his fights. Plus 100, he's a slight underdog. Rocha minus 120, the favorite. It is a true coin flip type of fight. I think that the side of Costa wins a super competitive decision. The physical strength edge, potentially some harder kicks, and a good 3-round scrap. Lucas Rocha is getting it done. He's going to pull it off here in this one. Did I say Lucas Rocha? Take it back. Davi Bittencourt. Don't listen to that. I'm telling you. I'm not jinxing myself. Sometimes when the words fumble like that, you guys got to give me a little bit of a pass as I'm flying things out of my mouth at 100 miles an hour. I think Davi Bittencourt can beat Lucas Rocha in this fight. I'm going to say he gets a decision. We're going Bittencourt for the W, decision win. Going with the guy a little bit older, a little bit physically stronger. That man's strength should play into a massive factor in this fight here and ultimately get him to win. So Bittencourt to start the night off. Let's keep running up. Next fight on the card, we have Issa Isakov versus Marquel Mederos. Guys, I'm fading the OV. I'm going with Mederos, the younger guy who's an underdog in this fight here. I guess I'm just not overly impressed by Isakov's wrestling onslaught and pressure. His striking is okay. I know he's got the OV at the end of the name, and a lot of times that's very menacing, but now we have such an influx of guys, from that region of the world with those last names. Granted, he's a Belgium fighter at the end of the day. The OV last name, we know where it comes from. It comes from the Caucasus Mountains. It comes from the region near Dagestan, Chechnya, etc. I think that Marquel Mederos is a dangerous kid. He's young at only 26. I know Isakov is more experienced, right? Has a little bit more pro experience, but he's 33, almost 34. And I know with Contender Series, they look for the younger guys. And if you're a guy who's 33, you better be ready to be thrown into the top tier, like the top ever. I'll say above the medium level of UFC. They're not looking to wait and just build you. So is Isakov ready to fight somebody that would be like ranked in the top 30 at the lightweight class? I don't know about that. I think Mederos has got skills. He can wrestle. He can strike. He's athletic. He's strong. He's got good punch combinations. He's a confident fighter. I say he's the faster striker in this fight here. I like the chances for Mederos to get the win. You can look at some recent fights. Yes, not super high-tier opposition. I will 100% back that and say true, right? On the opposite side, Isakov, you can see the better names on the resume as far as the level of competition, but I'm just not sold on Isakov. I think Mederos is going to be hell to deal with. He's also a Factory X Muay Thai guy. Training out of that gym, I kind of feel the confidence, man. I wrote down, fade the OV. I sat on this one for a bit, and something is just whispering to me that I got to fade the OV. I'm going with Mederos to get the win. Could end up being a crazy pick if Isakov is all over him with the wrestling. At the end of the day, it's Contender Series. We're going to find out a lot about these guys on Tuesday night. Definitely bet responsibly. We'll talk the odds in a second. Let's look at the scales. There is Isakov. He looks in very good shape. And then there's Mederos. I don't know. He's got a look in his eye, too. I think he's an intense kid. Right in his face, ready to scrap. I think he's the more damaging fighter on the feet. I think Mederos is getting his hand raised, pulling this one out. Fade the OV. Method of victory. I could see a TKO. I could see Mederos ripping him with hard shots and ends up stunning him. Ends up knocking him out. It will be a bit of an upset. And obviously people, they love betting the OV side. I've been there for a long time. But I don't know about this week. We're at minus 200 Isakov. Mederos plus 160. I think Mederos is live. Maybe I'm fucking delusional. With Contender Series, maybe I am delusional sometimes. But I just feel something for Mederos' style. I don't know. It looks cleaner. His striking looks faster and more powerful. He seems like he's capable enough to stop the wrestling onslaught. I think he can win. Mederos to win by a TKO. What's that at? Plus 250. It's not a great line. If you're touching this one and you want to bet down, money line dog side. Now, I'll tell you guys this. If you're betting Contender Series, just know you're playing with fire. It's the Wild West of the game. When you watch the UFC, you have these guys. They have so many fights at the highest level, and you can really understand every aspect of their style. And then you also take into consideration with some of these guys, maybe you see a couple of their fights. They don't have every one of their fights in the perfect timeline. So at the end of the day, skill set improvements and whatnot from what you recently see can sway you. So I will say, definitely bet Contender Series responsibly. From what I've seen, I think Mederos is a very live dog. I'm going Mederos for the win. I'm picking him in this fight. I'm fading the OV, guys. I'm fading the OV. Next fight on the card, we have Torrez, Finney versus Yuri, Panferov. The fade the OV continues. I'm going against the OV back to back, especially this one. Finney's a good wrestler, All-American. The dude's strong as fuck, and he's explosive, and he's only 24. I don't know. I wasn't impressed by Panferov. He doesn't have the same menacing style that I see from guys with the OVs. And, I guess you can say for the same thing for Isakov in the fight before this. With Panferov, I'm watching him strike, and I'm kind of seeing sloppy hands, decent jiu-jitsu skill, and obviously a threat of grappling in certain matchups, but not with an All-American wrestler that's built like a freaking freight train. I think that this fight here, favors the side of Finney a ton. Now, I know he's short at only 5'7", but he does have good length. I believe he has a 76-inch reach. Might give or take a couple inches when the UFC officially measures it, but that's a freakish stat. The guy is built like a monster, and you're going to see when we look at the scales, I think he's going to be able to out-wrestle Panferov all night. It's going to be about, can Panferov survive the onslaught? Let's look here. Let's look. Look at this. Finney is built like a fucking bodybuilder. The dude's built like William Knight, but he's 5'7" at 185, and he can wrestle his ass off. He's a good athlete. It looks like Panferov is a different weight class, way thinner. Now, when you see him face off, you see the big height edge. Panferov's in good shape, for sure, but I think the wrestling onslaught of Finney is going to destroy him. Now, I hope that I am wrong on the method of victory prediction, more for the fact that I would like to see Finney go out there and power bomb Panferov, beat the shit out of him and get a stoppage. But I do think we might see a wrestling heavy fight that kind of has, I don't want to say Dana White bored stiff, but you know how Dana gets. I worry that Panferov is going to be defensively sound enough in the grappling to be put on his back, but not easily passed through the guard and not easily smashed on the ground. We have seen Finney win by decision, and that was 2 fights ago against a guy who was like 5-3-1, lesser level competition. Panferov, if you quickly look at the past couple for him, beat a 4-4 guy, a 2-4 guy. This is Ron Marshall. That was this slobber knocker, like wild fight, crazy shots coming from Panferov. I just wasn't impressed in the slightest. At the end of the day, Finney's getting some W's here. You see the 5-3 fighter there. Still a dominant win. And obviously he's fought some, softer comp too. There's a chance he finishes him off, but 6-0 Panferov, I think he's getting out-wrestled for 3 rounds. I think we're looking at a decision. I think that this is one of those fights that just matchup-wise ends up being a bit of a stalemate in certain positions. Minus 240 for Finney. Panferov, plus 190. I'm going Finney as the favorite. I feel good about him winning. Over 1.5 is plus 110. I think we're going over, guys. I think Panferov can survive at least 2 rounds. I think he's going long. Finney by TKO, minus 130. Finney by decision is plus 450. That's crazy to me. I mean, he could go out there, power bomb, and smash him, but 6-0 Panferov, who seems to be competent in the grappling positions, enough so probably not to get finished, I don't understand. I don't understand the reason for such a big plus money decision tag. I think Finney's getting him on the cards with the wrestling heavy attack. So we're going Torrez, Finney for the win over Yuri, Panferov. We're fading OVs back-to-back, guys. Back-to-back OV fades. Next fight is the feature bout. It's Conor Matthews versus Jair Farias. Could be Jair Farias, to be honest. What am I thinking? He's Portuguese. I'm thinking he's Hispanic. Jair Farias is the pick. Farias. Conor Matthews is a pit bull type of fighter. He's a tough dog brawler. He fought on Contender Series before, and that was against Francis Marshall. He did lose. It was a good scrap, and he absorbed a ton of shots. He's also 31 years of age, 6-1 as a pro. Now, his opponent, Farias, didn't fight for 4 years and then made a comeback 3 months ago. And he's only 30. He's the younger guy, but he's got more experience even with a super extensive layoff. Farias is so long, so much taller. Like 5'8 to 5'11 doesn't even make sense to me. I think Farias is going to beat him up on the feet, and I think Farias is going to end up knocking Conor Matthews out. As tough as he is, I think he's in a bit of a stylistic mismatch in this one. Let's check these guys out on the scales. Let's look at these savages real quick, all right? There is the side of Farias, and then there is the side of Conor Matthews. He does look shredded. Then there's the face-up. Is that 5'8 to 5'11? That doesn't look like it. That looks like 5'8 to 6'3. So there's got to be a mismeasurement of the side of Matthews or the side of Farias. Somebody's either lying about being 5'8 or the other one's lying about being just 5'11, because that makes no sense. That's a crazy height difference, and I think Farias is going to have a ton of success. Like, I think Matthews is hittable with straight shots against guys that are in similar fucking heights to him, right? Now I got a long guy who can kickbox. Holy shit. I think Matthews is getting ripped apart by straights, and I do think he's getting knocked out. So I'm going Farias by KO. Farias is a minus 178 favorite, while Matthews is a plus 148 dog. I like the side of Farias by KO. That line sits at plus 175. Interesting. Do we go over 1.5? That's a coin flip. I do think Farias is going to stop him with his hands, though. I think Farias is going to unload straights, bop, 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 and just beat him up, and he's going to get rocked and TKO'd. It's going to be some ground and pound. Yeah. Jair Farias for the W, guys. It's going to be, I think, one-way traffic for the most part, especially like looking at the striking. Like, I know Conor Matthews got a good rear naked choke, but I think he's going to have a hard time getting in on Jair Farias, and I don't think he's out-muscling him here. And I think Farias' striking is going to just really exceed the side of Conor Matthews. And I think it looks like one-way traffic, so Farias with the knockout will be my call. Next fight on the card is our co-main event. It's Rickson Tai Zenidim versus André Lima. Talk about a dope co-main event, because I really think both guys are good and close to that UFC level. Now, I am going to pick the Lima side to win this fight here. Note that he has a lot of pro kickboxing fights. He's also fought in professional Muay Thai. He is an extremely fast kicker, and he has damn good athleticism. His striking game is very impressive to watch, and I think he has a clear speed edge. Now, Zenidim, good kickboxer in his own right. I'm not shitting on his striking game. He throws beautiful flying knees. His knee skills in general are nasty. And if Lima is dipping low or looking for takedowns, he can get caught in something. Now, Zenidim is known for his submissions. He does have 10 wins by sub. He's a good athlete too. And I like his punch combinations that he can rip when he pressures his opponents backwards. I like the submission skill set. He does have submission game. He got the submission game down. You see that, right? You got KO there, but submission armbar, and then we got KO. But we got 10 subs when you dig back. As of recent, though, Mr. KO. Now, he was getting taken down a bit by Vera. I think that he's in a fight where he's definitely inferior as far as the kickboxing game, and I don't think Zenidim is going to have the offensive wrestling to take out down and bully Lima. I think his athleticism and the kickboxing experience, it's just made for iron hips. I can actually see Lima getting the back of Zenidim. I'm going to say that Lima's going to knock him out, guys, and he's going to hurt him. But I do think we got a great fight. I think we got a great fight. Let's quickly look at these guys on the scales. There is Zenidim. And then there is the side of Lima. I don't know. Lima's got that intensity. There's the face off. He's silencing him with the finger up. Yeah, I think Zenidim is getting laid out, guys. I'm going knockout win for Lima. I think he's a good prospect to watch. I think keep your eye on him. Young guy, 24. Zenidim also 24. I think both guys have the potential to eventually be in the UFC, but right now it seems like Lima's just the sharper blade, especially with the pro striking skill set. Lima's a minus 275 favorite. It's a deserving tag. Zenidim is plus 215 as the underdog. I like the side of Lima a lot here. I got a real good feeling that he wins this fight. KO for Zenidim is not going to happen. So what am I saying? KO for Lima, though, plus 100. I like the plus 100. I like him just Lima money line. I know it's minus 275. Maybe you're parlaying something up at the end. We'll talk parlays at the end. We'll throw some ideas out for what we can potentially come up with. But I do like Lima a lot in this fight. I really think he's a good prospect. And I do think that Rickson Tai Zenidim is a good fighter too. I actually like both their styles a lot. And when I was originally first watching Zenidim, I'm like, man, I really like this dude. Then I saw Lima. I'm like, damn, I like him more though. And I think Zenidim eventually gets here, but hard matchup against a prospect to watch. I know he's only 6-0 as a pro MMA fighter, but loads of kickboxing. And that's a positive aspect to bring into this fight. So Lima for the W in the co-main. Let's keep running up and let's get to the main event of the evening. If you guys haven't yet, make sure you smash that like button. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. We got Ramon Taveras versus Cortavious Romious. Are you not entertained? I think that's a good nickname for Cortavious because the dude is a freakish athlete with nasty grappling skills. Now, I picked Roman Taveras to beat Surrey City, and City's a bit of a striker. Cortavious is going to be wrestling hard throughout the night. I'm going with Cortavious to win. I think he can do it. As much as I like Ramon Taveras, I just think that Cortavious Romious to win by submission makes so much sense in this fight. Romious is a southpaw with damn fast hands, and I'll consider him a great athlete. Now, he threatens with submissions from the bottom and has 3 arm bars. His ground game is incredibly solid. He also has good takedowns. He also can beat up guys from top. He can outmuscle a lot of dudes. Taveras on the other side is a southpaw too, and he has a really good in-your-face striking style. He can crack well, reminiscent of the Masvidals or Adrian Yanez's of the world. I definitely think he's got some slick punching skills and power. Nice body jabs. I would say his stand-up is really where he shines. Now, he got caught by Series City. He's got 2 KO losses, I believe. So you have to slightly worry about the chin. Now, granted, the Series City fight was an early stoppage, but he still got caught clean. Cortavious has the grappling edge in this fight. I could see him hurting Taveras with something because of the grappling onslaught. But when they go to the ground, I really think Cortavious Romious is going to show a way different level in grappling skill. And I'm riding with Cortavious to get the submission win, guys. I think he can do it. Now, as far as the face-offs, let's check these boys out. I should say, let's check these savages out. There is Cortavious looking jack shredded and ready to rock. And then there is Taveras looking pretty badass too with the blonde hair. So Masvidal-esque. You guys see it. And then there's the face-off. Taveras a little bit taller, right? A little bit taller. Nothing crazy. The muscularity, though, favors the side of the grappler, which that is a massive aspect because I think that the strength will favor him. Now, note that Cortavious was listed at 5'4". When they actually faced off, to me, it only looks like about 1.5 inches, 2-inch difference. So either Taveras is a little shorter or Cortavious a little bit taller. Regardless of that fact, I think we'll be on the ground, and that's where Cortavious is going to shine. Now, as far as the odds, he's a little bit of a wide favorite at -240. Got to worry, too, about Taveras cutting weight back-to-back, specifically him missing weight last time and now cutting weight again. So there's some potential red flags on this one, guys. Taveras is +190 as the dog, Cortavious -240 as the favorite, and win by submission for the side of Cortavious Romious is sitting at +175. I like the +175 tag. I like the chances of a sub. Now, I'm not saying go throw everything at it, but I like Cortavious' game. Could he get caught on the feet? Taveras can crack with anybody. So, at the end of the day, there's definitely a puncher's chance for Taveras, but I think Cortavious Romious, are you not entertained? I think he's going to beat the Savage, which is sad to say because I love the word Savage, and I really like Raymond Taveras, the Savage. I do. We'll see what happens when the cage door closes, guys. At the end of the day, Contender Series is the Wild West, so if you're betting it, be very cautious. I do want to do a prediction. Who gets signed? So I'm going to say Davi Bittencourt with a win over Lucas Rocha should get signed. If Rocha beats him, unless he's crazy impressive, he's not going to get signed because he missed weight. Next fight, Mederos to beat Isakov with a win there as an underdog and as a young guy with a lot of potential. Yes, he's getting signed. Torrez Finney with Yuri. I feel like Finney is going to be like one of those guys where Dana's like, listen, you're only 24. Give it a couple more fights and we'll bring you back again. Because I think he's going to win, but I do think he'll deal with some adversity with grappling defense from Panferov. But otherwise, if he's able to go out there, powerbomb him, get a TKO, really unload, or be absolutely dominant in the grappling, maybe he gets a contract. But I don't know. I have a bad feeling it's a no. And I hope I'm wrong. And if Torrez Finney watches this, I hope you get the contract, bro, because I like your style. And I really hope you beat Panferov up. Next fight, Connor Matthews and Jair Farias. I think Farias is getting a contract with a knockout. I think Lima gets a contract with the finish of Zenidim. And I think Cortavious with a sub is definitely getting a contract. So there's a chance, though, that because of, how things go, I'm telling you, if Finney goes out there and 30-27s it, and then all the other picks are right, and there's action-packed fights and warfares, they'll sign him too. But I just worry with, potentially if there's any bit of, slower pace fights, Dana might get a little stingy. It is the last episode. There's 6 fights, which is special for Contender. We might be looking at 6 contracts. I hope that all 6 get signed here, but I definitely think there's a chance. Maybe not. I don't know. I think that, who's the lock of the contract? I don't know. We're throwing crazy shit. I'll say Lima. I'll say Lima's the lock of the contract, but who the fuck knows at the end of the day. Fun little section that I like adding in for Contender Series. I'll tell you guys on the live stream who I think's getting it. The real power rankings, not beforehand. All right, let's look at a parlay I don't recommend you guys parlay it too crazy. I really think with Contender, you guys need to think with your heads and not your asses. But let's say Lima and Finney plus 110. I think there's a real chance this one cashes. I like both of these two. Now, if you're like, yo, I want a different line. Maybe you don't like Lima. Maybe you don't like Finney. Farias has a real good chance to win. You could try and put him up there with the likes. Do I want to do it? Nah, I don't want to. I was going to say with Bittencourt, but it's so close. You're better off just money lining that. Cortavius, maybe plus 130 for that as a little alternate, but something says maybe these three. Looking at it at plus 230. Then we got straight money line dog on slot, but if you want to throw heat at it, you could. Obviously, Bittencourt's another one you can just money line. Cortavius at the top now, you got plus 383. I will tell you guys, man, if you're throwing down on the, parlays on the slate for these, just be cautious. We don't even have any overs on this one. Are any of the overs over 2.5s? I think there could be a lot of finishes, man. The over-unders could be really interesting here. So maybe if you got like an interesting plus money line on an over, maybe you sprinkle it down. But yeah, parlay-wise, I don't know. Lima mixed with the side of Finney makes a lot of sense. And add a little extension of Farias, and then you go Romious. And you can go crazy. You can try to sweep the damn thing. And we're looking at plus 1939. At the end of the day, bet the Contender Series intelligently. Maybe cut your unit sizes in half if you're really looking to throw down. Because at the end of the day, it is the Wild West of MMA betting. The UFC, we got more tape. We got more intel. We've seen these guys at a high level. These are prospect battles. But I damn sure love covering it. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the weigh-in recap show. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the picks. If you just enjoy the content, just drop a W in the chat to boost the algorithm for your boy. Smash the likes. If you're new to the channel, subscribe and turn those post notifications on. If you guys are watching, you're like, yo, where's Moneyline today? We're doing it Thursday this week instead of Monday. Finchman's out of town, so I want to give you guys a little program note. And if you're looking for program notes, always check the community tab because I do update everybody, and you guys can find everything out there. Turn the post notifications on, guys. Put them on all, not just personalized. Don't miss a video. Like, subscribe. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm excited for a week's worth of content. Contender Series Fight Companion going down tomorrow is going to be an absolute banger because it's a damn good finale to cap off what has already been an amazing season. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace, everybody.